Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to another Burlingame. It's a small town podcast sponsored by the Burlingame Historical Society. This is Mark Lucchese, also known as Mark at the Mic, and my guests today are four members of the Burlingame Parks Forever Foundation: Laura Hesselgren, Kay Coskey, Rich Kirchner, and Doug Bojack. The Burlingame Parks and Recreation Foundation is a nonprofit organization founded to enhance the life of all residents in Burlingame and the surrounding communities by working with our city staff to facilitate volunteer opportunities, provide community outreach for park and recreation, and raise funds to support local programs, facilities, and services. And now my conversation with Laura, Kay, Rich, and Doug. Ladies and gents, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You bet. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to go around the table and introduce each one of you. And as I introduce you, I will ask you the same four questions. So by the time we get to you, Doug, you should be ready, baby, right? Okay. Laura Hesselgren, welcome.
Thank you.
Laura, how long have you lived in Burlingame?
I have lived in Burlingame the majority of my life, with the exception of going to college and in my 20s.
Okay, so 40 years, Laura, 50 years. Okay, I know we don't want to give out too many
maybe
ages.
20.
Okay, maybe 20. All right.
More than 20.
Okay, well, we won't do a deep dive on
Quite
that.
a few.
All right. So how long have you been on the board?
I have been on the board since its formation, which was started was September 20th in 2012.
Great. Okay. What motivated you to join the board?
I was one of the founding members. I was at the time a Park and Rec Commissioner, and I was the chair of the Park and Rec Commission when Jeffrey Griffin joined. And Jeffrey came on the commission and talked about starting a foundation. So when I was president of it, so we approved moving forward with the foundation and got the paper signed. And so it was at the end of my term, and it was I had already been on the commission for 9 years. So it was a good transition to go forward and continue serving Burlingame with the foundation.
Great. So with that one answer, you answered about three of my next questions. But you know what? That's fine. Okay. So my next question to you then, Laura, was: have you served on any other Burlingame board, foundations, or commissions?
I have served on the Beautification Commission for 6 years prior to the Park and Rec Commission for 9, and was also on the Burlingame High School Alumni Board.
So you went to Burlingame High?
I went to Burlingame High.
What year did you graduate?
75.
Good for you. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
All right, Kay.
Well, hi, Mark.
Hi, Kay Coskey. All right, Kay, same questions for you. How long have you lived in Burlingame?
Okay. Well, first, thank you for having us today. I want to just put that out there.
My pleasure. Absolutely.
Yes, I've lived in Burlingame for 31 years.
Great. And did you go to Burlingame High?
No, I grew up in one of the swing states, Pennsylvania.
Here we go with the politics. Okay. Well, okay.
And I first came out here and lived in Southern California. Came up after getting married and have been here for 31 wonderful years, if I can say.
We're lucky to be living in this city. Very,
Yes.
very fortunate.
Yes.
So how long have you been on the board?
Well, I'm coming up on 3 years, so
Great.
not as long as my friend here, but certainly have enjoyed so far my time on the board.
Yeah. What motivated you to join the board?
Well, Mark, I retired just a couple years ago, and I started finding other things that are interesting in the community. And I am on the Sol Mateo board, and I wanted one other thing, and then someone on this board reached out and said, "What do you think?" So I came and met everyone, found how much fun it is and how involved you can get in our community and just bring joy to a lot of people, and they bring a lot of joy to me doing what we do here. So that's what brought me on.
Great.
Yes.
You mentioned Sol Mateo.
Yes.
Have you served on any other Burlingame? Sol Mateo is kind of a county board, I guess, right? It encompasses a lot of cities.
Yeah, we raise money for mental health in the whole county.
Right. Have you served on any of the Burlingame boards or foundations or commissions?
I was on the Burlingame Community for Education, BCE,
Great.
in my younger years. Of course, I was like a PTA president, those kind of things. I also was on our school board for 2 terms. and a few other things with the tennis club and
Oh, good.
Coyote
Okay.
Point and those kind of things
Yeah.
in the community.
Great.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rich, same questions for you. How long have you lived in Burlingame?
Well, as a matter of fact, this year it will have been 40 years. However, I was born here.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. This
In Burlingame?
In Burlingame. Well,
At Peninsula
actually,
Hospital or Mills or
no,
something?
it was Chope County Hospital in San Mateo. But we lived at 1520 Newland, but that only lasted a year. My dad was in the South Pacific at the time. And so for the next 40 years, I lived everywhere until coming back to Burlingame.
And so how long have you been back in Burlingame?
40 years.
40 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Good for you. How long have you been on the board?
Been on the board about 9 years.
Okay.
I sort of chased a woman named Karen Dittman. She was on the Beautification Commission and was leaving it and mentioned to me that there was a space there, and I thought it would be a good fit, and it turns out it has been a good fit. And then she also was on the board here at the Parks Forever, well, then it was Burlingame Parks and Recreation Foundation, but it's Parks Forever now. She left that and also mentioned, hey, you'd be a good fit here as well. And so that is what I did. I just moved over. So I'm still on the commission, Beautification Commission, and I have been on the board now for 9 years.
Good. Have you served on any other Burlingame boards or foundations, commissions?
Well, other than some BCE commitments,
Yeah.
Burlingame Network, Neighborhood Network,
Right.
been part of that. I was Cub Master of PAC 57 for 6 years. I think I get a combat badge for that.
I bet. Doug,
Hello.
how long have you lived in Burlingame?
I grew up here and just moved back a couple of years ago.
So you grew up here?
Grew
like
up, left for college. stayed
elementary
away.
school? Elementary
Oh, yeah.
school, Burlingame High?
Yep.
Wow. What year did you graduate?
Oh, I don't want to date myself that way. 2007.
Oh, my goodness. We got a youngster with us here, don't we? Welcome back. All right. How long have you been on the board?
Almost 2 years.
Okay, good. What motivated you to join the board?
Coming back to Burlingame and was looking to get involved, and we've got young kids and wanted to give back.
Yeah, great. Okay. And have you served on any other Burlingame boards, foundations, or committees?
I'm also am and have been active with the Burlingame Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Committee, which works and interfaces with the Traffic Safety and Parking
Okay, so
Commission.
you're part of the troop that came up with the California Drive bicycle path or something. Is that the one that I hear all the ruckus about
I'm
all
sure
the
you
time?
hear all about
yeah.
it.
Okay. Great. Okay, Laura, I'm going to come back to you, and thank you for that, Doug. Thank you all for your introductions. The question was, what year was the Burlingame Parks Foundation founded?
2012.
Okay, so there was a Burlingame Parks and Recreation at one time?
Well, it's the same foundation. It was Burlingame Parks and Rec Foundation. We originally had that name when we started in 2012. And then just recently, after we just changed it to Burlingame Parks
Why?
Forever
Why'd you drop
Foundation.
the rec?
We wanted to delineate ourselves from the city. Even though we raised money for the Burlingame Parks and
Okay.
Rec programs, we wanted to. People thought we were a city organization versus a foundation.
Okay.
So with Burlingame Parks and Rec Foundation, made it seem like the rec department and things like that. So the Burlingame Parks Forever Foundation had a different name and kind of made us different from the city.
So when you decided to drop the name, that was a board decision?
It was a board decision. We hired a marketing group.
Uh-huh.
So we just recently, within the last year, hired a marketing group to help us grow.
Okay.
We needed to grow. We've
Yeah.
been, we've over the years, we've had board members. We've had, we were allowed to have 15.
Yeah, okay.
And so we only have 10 right now. And
Yeah.
so we've been up to 15, and then we've gone down back to 10. And so we're trying to grow and get people to help us grow
Right.
now. So, and that was why we hired the marketing group and tried to get the name changed. And they helped us. We do, told us in different directions to go.
All right. Thank you for that. So you were one of the original founders.
I was one of the original
Are there
founders.
still any original founders still on the board?
Well, it was Jeffrey Griffin was the one who started the idea and got the paperwork going, and I was the other signature on the paperwork, and then Steve Baum, who is still with the Park and Rec Commission, and Margaret Gloomstead.
So I noticed on the website that you are looking for some board members, right? And you mentioned that you have around 10 right now. Did I catch that?
We have 10.
10, but you want to grow it to 15?
We could have up to 15.
Yeah, I think and I'm going to use the library here for a couple of examples as we go through this today. The Library Foundation has about 20 or 24 members. And they also have an executive director, which they hired a couple of years ago, Sarah Simpson. I think she's part-time, but she's been very active in raising funds for the library. You guys don't have that. You have a marketing group instead of an executive director, or what?
No, we had hired a marketing group to help us change our name and help us move forward in a different direction. But we don't have an executive director,
okay.
And we have 4 foundation members that work on the marketing portion of it now, and thus, though, what we're looking for is board members that would perhaps help us with more the website and help us with Facebook and Snapchat and all of those different things. We're kind of lacking in the social media department.
Well, it's hard to keep up with everything, that's for sure. Okay. Kay and Rich, Doug, why don't we talk about the mission of the foundation, and can you share the foundation's main mission and how it serves the Burlingame community?
Yes, I'll take that. Thank you, Laura. Our mission statement, which is on the website, and it was introduced a little earlier, I'll just say again that it is to enhance the lives of all of our residents in Burlingame and the surrounding communities by raising funds to support our local programs, facilities, and services. And I want to just say that there are many things that this small, mighty group do. If I could just name some of our events that
Please do.
Are pretty annual. There are almost 10 of them. And although it's a small group, we all take turns helping each other out. If you're out of town, that's no problem. There's no pressure. We even have some friends that come and help us along the way. But I think it would be great if we could get a few more dedicated people, because there are a lot of great fun activities that really has the community coming together. So just to name some of them, going down the list, we have a bocce ball tournament that has a lot of the community members that love playing bocce ball and never played it before. We have music in the park. There have been about 4 of those in the summer.
So when you do music in the park, what are you doing there?
Well, we are walking around and selling some raffle tickets, talking with community members about our next events, asking them what they think could be good in our community, what their needs might be. Just getting some input. And yes, we're serving some drinks for people, and just a lot of engagement, of course, enjoying the wonderful music that we have.
And you do that at the bocce ball court as well? I mean, are you selling beverages there or snacks, or is it just the fee to join the?
It's basically signing up, and then when they come, a lot of people bring their own.
Right, got it.
And there is a small fee.
Yeah,
but
small. Okay.
to have that. And then we have the pickleball tournament, which is so much fun, and we all know there's a lot of pickleball people, and that also you just sign up with the rec park,
Right.
and it just is such a wonderful event. That's usually in the fall, and we have a lot of people interested in that, and that's about. We just had our 4th year, I believe, of that 4th time that we had this event, which really was great. We have our family camp out, so a lot of families show up.
At the park?
That's over at the baseball field.
Okay.
And tents everywhere. It is a great family event, and we're all there helping people do all kinds of things, and there's music at that, and there's all kinds of activities. Raffle. We're all about raffle because we get all kinds of...
They work.
We get a lot of great prizes, and we do raise some nice money with the raffle. We have, Doug may talk about the park-to-park bike ride that just was started this year. Doug was the head fellow on that, and that just was a lot of fun.
That does sound like fun.
That was a lot of I was there for that with the routing, and that was fun. And we have, of course, the holiday tree lighting. And we're only there for about an hour selling our wonderful beverages. But man, we really raised some quick money to help with our parks. And that is so much fun, and it really is packed. We have the Winter Fair coming up, which is in December, and that's over at the Rec Center. And the Winter Fair sells a lot of...
Is that like a crafts thing or something?
Yeah, so that just started this past year. And we also have the Santa Claus visits. And we have Rich, who really is quite helpful with that, along with some of our other people dressing up, going around homes. In the past, we have our golf tournament, our sports flea market, and many other things like the tiles in the community, the bricks at Paloma Park and Ray Park. So to name a few, we really...
That's great. And we're going to get into some of that as we go around here.
Yes,
so,
thank you.
Okay, I have a fun fact, I think. For me, I thought it was a fun fact. I read that Burlingame has 21 parks and recreational facilities. And these parks and facilities include playgrounds, neighborhood parks, a wildlife refuge, hiking trails, and bayfront open space. Am I correct on all that? Yeah? Okay. Where is this wildlife refuge? I grew up here in Burlingame. I have no idea where it is.
Yeah,
Doug?
I'm so glad you asked. There's a small shorebird sanctuary over on the bayfront. It's where, what's the name of the creek? One of the creeks empties out where all the new biotech development is coming in.
Right.
Off of Bayshore. And
so is it closer to like the golf course, or are we way down by Broadway? In other words, where are we talking about this refuge? I'm not sure.
Right. Yeah. More on the Broadway.
Okay.
Benihana is right next door.
Okay.
Exactly,
it's out
right
by Benihana. All right. Great. Yeah. Okay. Good.
And that's actually, well, I'll jump into that right now. So I had prepared a grant application to try and revitalize that little spot. It's about maybe half an acre of mud flats, and there's not much in terms of habitat that's left. It's been filled in and
right.
Riprap all along the bayfront there. There is actually, now we're getting off onto a tangent here, but there's going to be a pretty interesting, hopefully a Bayshore or Bay Rise Park that's sort of in the works. That's not affiliated with the city, but is also on the Burlingame shoreline there. But this is a little pocket sanctuary for shorebirds using those mud flats, and we were looking to sort of get some state funding or regional funding to make some improvements to the facilities around there, some habitat improvements, but.
Okay, so people go out there, and residents go out there with their binoculars and stuff and try to distinguish what bird from what bird.
Yeah, it'd be great for birding. People, lots of users along the Bay Trail.
Okay, all right. Rich, why don't you answer this question for me, okay? Do members of the foundation, because we have 21 parks, right? I'm just wondering, do you guys go out and check out these parks and these areas on a regular basis or anything like that, looking for like issues, like graffiti, broken equipment or anything like that? Or you just let the park maintenance crew take care of something like that?
A little bit of both. We're at these parks for various of our extraordinary fundraising parties and what we do.
Yeah.
But we also have the director of Parks and Recreation, Margaret Glomstad, who goes to our meetings, and she will also point out special things that are going on that we ought to be cognizant of.
Right.
We also have Ian Milne, who is a commissioner on Parks and Rec. He's a liaison, and he comes to those meetings as well. So we get information from everyone. And having lived here as long as I have, yes, I've been to just about every park there is.
Yeah.
I am surprised that a few of them, all of a sudden they'll come up. To mention a few, I think, let me see here. Trenton Playground, I haven't spent a whole lot of time over there. Primrose Playground changed its name. It used to be Parking Lot J. It's downtown. It's right next to it.
Is that the one that's on Primrose?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. These are playgrounds. Alpine, don't think I've been up there for quite some time. Have spent a lot of time up at the Skyline Park, though, because that's right up at the top of the hill, and that's a beautiful park if anybody hasn't been.
So that's not Cuernavaca. That's beyond Cuernavaca?
That's beyond Cuernavaca. It's on the corner of Truesdale and, well, actually, there's a yeah.
Is it? I don't think I've ever been up there.
You ought to take the chance
I
to do
thought
that.
Cuernavaca was like the farthest north, and Victoria would be the most south.
Yeah, no, Skyline Park is located at 1675 Skyline Boulevard. It has picnic tables and an off-leash dog.
Off-leash.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of sandwiched between 280 and Skyline.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right. Laura?
No, I was just going to say there's the new one across from the parking lot too, the little park that they just added. There's the high-rise parking lot.
The town square?
No, not the
Not
town
that one?
square. There's the new apartment complex for that they just built in the city right there behind Howard. And there's a new little park right there that we just picked up.
Boy, I must have walked right by it. Missed that one completely.
It just was added with the development.
Yeah.
So
So
that's a new park we just picked up.
Is that part of the 21 or is that like 22 now or something? Do you know?
That's 22 now.
Man, who would have ever thought, huh? Boy, okay. Let's talk about some of the foundation's short-term goals. In other words, when you guys get together, you need to figure something out when you have your monthly meetings and all that. For example, can I give you an example? All right. I have grandkids, right? And I live very close to Victoria Park. Okay. So when we get there, inevitably, as soon as we get there, one of them has to go to the bathroom. Well, there's no bathrooms, right? So we have to go back home. They can go to the bathroom. Then we get back to the park and the other one has to go. Okay. What's the deal with bathrooms in Burlingame? They're just expensive, right? Is that the deal?
Bathrooms are expensive and require a lot of community involvement. So it's something that in order to put a bathroom in, say, Victoria, Pershing, Laguna, the residents need to get involved and approve and then the finances obviously involved in that as well.
Big expense.
So it's a huge expense for that.
So that would, to me would be more of a long-term goal.
That would be a long-term goal if it was something that the community came to us and requested, but it's not. So it would probably initially have to go to the Park and Rec Commission and then go through the city. And then if the city, could come to us and say, would the foundation be interested in raising money for it, or could we run funds through the foundation?
Right.
But bathrooms, from being in the past on the commission, Park and Rec Commission, many years ago, bathrooms were difficult to locate in a park because the residents didn't want them.
No kidding. Yeah, I guess so.
They would rather have it be a community park and you go home to use the restroom. That was what it was years ago. So whether that's the same feeling as it was. But that was my understanding as to why they weren't in Victoria, Laguna, and Pershing.
Okay. I did see on the website, though, that you completed some, and I would call them short-term stuff, like there's water faucets or something at the tennis courts or at the pickleball courts. Is that what I read? Or help me there a little bit. You just completed some pretty cool things.
Yeah, we have completed many things in the past years. And just to name some of those, we put chalkboards, and some of our members went and actually helped install those, which is
chalkboards
where the Paloma Park.
Okay.
And we also did dog agility equipment, and a lot of the community like that. They want more dog park help, and so that's kind of a nice thing. We recently did the ping pong tables.
Where?
And that's over at the community center.
Oh, that's the room where they play the ping pong. So what do you mean you did that? That you paid for the ping pong tables or something?
We sponsored those. And also, I think the cornhole. Cornhole also, yeah. And then we did the lights at the bocce ball courts, which...
With the Lions Club.
Yeah, in conjunction with the Lions Club.
And those couldn't have been cheap. Those had to be expensive, I bet.
And that's actually something that a lot of people playing.
Yeah. So is that permanent lighting over the?
Yes.
Terrific.
Yes, it is. And also water stations, which more and more people...
That's what the water stations.
You see, I have my water bottle.
Yeah.
People are walking around with these a whole lot more. So they like that. They like more water stations. In fact, I do hear out there that they'd like even more water stations out and about, which is wonderful for us. And we have some bicycle repair, and Doug, you probably know a little more about this than us, repair stations. And I want to say that we did help get the Women's Coaching Alliance get started, and that's a whole nother group that Mark it would be wonderful if you maybe reach out to them. We did get them started initially, financially,
Okay.
And also, let's see, the community center. I want to say that we put the plaques up, and we raised some money with people supporting and sponsoring the plaques in the community center. And then there's one, Rich, can you tell us about the cupola?
Yeah, this is sort of brand new. The former City Hall of Burlingame, which was located between the Apple store and the PetSmart store, was torn down in the 1960s. And a parking lot was put there. But the only part of it was saved was the little cupola. And a cupola is like a little domed structure that's on top of a building. Sometimes it has bells in it, and others, this one did not. And it's there to this day. And it suffered from weather and from some other abuse as well. So we've got some bids, and we're heading towards a $6,000
So are you working on that with the Historical Society? Because I think they're very involved in that as well.
They are.
And Ray and I are both big supporters of the Historical Society. So that's great. So that the goal is 6,000?
6,000 paint and repair.
And I believe we've reached that goal, right? So,
We have.
Yeah, so we reached that goal. Jennifer Plath asked us to go with the Historical Society.
Yeah,
so
that's
we got
terrific.
that together, and all the funds have gone through the foundation
Okay.
for that.
That's great. I didn't know that we had reached that goal, so that's great.
It just happened.
Yeah. Okay. The town square, right? The town square, it's like getting ready to open. So I'm just, from what I understand, there's going to be like a small grassy park area, and there's going to be picnic tables and stuff, and maybe a bandstand. Is the foundation involved in any of that? I mean, do you guys involved in stuff over there or what?
We will be involved with the fundraising. Will more than likely be coming through the foundation, like with the community center for the additional rooms, all the rooms, the furniture, all the additional stuff. Of several $1 million came through the foundation. All the donations for that came through the foundation for the community center, and then they'd raise, we sell tiles still for the community center wall. But so the town square will be the same idea where the funding donations will come through the foundation for the town square.
Okay. Where are you selling bricks? Who can tell me where the bricks are?
I don't believe it's going to be like bricks per se, like regular sort of clay bricks, but
Yeah.
I think there's some sort of larger sponsorship opportunities, like a fewer set, but kind of larger sponsorship opportunities for the town square.
On two parks, we did sell bricks, Paloma Park and Ray Park.
Why just two parks? That was where I was driving at. How come you don't do them in every park?
Well, they're hard to install for one thing.
Okay.
And there has to be a space for them. They're not, you'd think you just have to walk on them, and you don't. These are usually used as trim in both cases of
Okay,
Ray Park
right.
and Paloma Park. So, we'd be happy to do more. And in fact, if you wanted to buy bricks or tiles for either park, they're still available.
How much
through
do
our
they go
website.
for?
I think it's $100. Yeah,
It's not
on
bad.
the smaller one, and if you can,
Nice
you can get
little
up
donation.
to you can get up to 8 by 8, 12 by
Right.
12, and that's even more.
Okay, so let me piggyback on that with the nice benches that are in the parks, right? We have these really nice wooden benches with the engravings on there. Is that part of your foundation, or is that the city? I mean,
That's the city. That's the Park and Rec department. So we don't. Yeah, they don't come through us.
what's a bench cost? Anybody know?
I think it's about $2,500.
Oh, okay. A little out of my whatever, but still, that's not bad. I thought you might tell me $10,000.
Yeah, no,
okay?
it was like
Okay.
2,000. I'm sure. I think it's probably gone up to 2,500.
So, and any one of you can take this question here. I receive emails at least once a month, maybe twice a month, from the Burlingame Library Foundation about certain upcoming fundraising events, right? Like trivia night. They had like 3 trivia nights this year. Book sales, authors this, author readings, blah, blah, blah. But I never get anything from you guys. Did I do something wrong? Did I not sign up for something? Or are you on the Burlingame e-newsletter?
Yeah, no, you haven't done anything wrong.
Okay.
Of course not.
Okay.
But we're just, as we were talking about, we're really trying to bulk up our social media presence, and part of that also will be newsletter. We just went out. We have our first newsletter sort of.
And how does
spinning
one
that
get
up.
the newsletter? They have to be on the mailing, obviously on some kind of mailing list, right?
Exactly. So we're trying to.
And is the newsletter like a one-page on email, one-page thing of what's going on, events and stuff like that, or what you've done or what you're going to do? And,
Yeah, what we've been up to, what's coming up.
Okay. Why don't you take a minute and tell me about this park-to-park
bike ride.
Yeah, tell me about that for a minute.
Sure, that's my baby. That's something I started for a couple of reasons. It really gets people on by family. It's really family oriented. It's not the.
But is it considered a fundraiser?
It is.
Yeah. So everybody puts in whatever they put in.
It's a pretty low cost.
And what's the cost?
It's going to be $15 per rider next year, $30 for families.
Okay.
So not raising huge dollar amounts, but really kind of getting people out to the parks using bikes to get between them. So we start at Washington Park and we go out and we go to 6 parks around town.
Which ones are they?
We go past Primrose, the Primrose Playground.
Uh-huh.
We go past the Paloma Playground, Ray Park, Village Park, and Laguna, and then back to Washington Park.
That's a pretty good little ride.
Yeah.
Do you stop along the way? I mean, okay, we're going to stop here for water. Anything like we're going to stop at Molly Stone's and get a soda. Anything like that go on?
Yeah. So it's a fun event. People get a passport, a little paper passport, and we'll get stickers at each park, and you bring that back and get a raffle ticket. And next year we had our first one last year, and or was it? This year. It was this year. It was last year.
Hard to keep track of time, huh?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It is. I know.
This year. It was this year. It was this May.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing it every May.
How many people or how many folks or how many families showed up for something like this?
We had 44 riders for our first.
Wonderful. And what about the youngest rider? Do you have a cutoff, like nobody under 12 or anything like that, or what?
No. I mean, you could do it.
As long as the parents are with them, I guess.
Yeah, if you have parents riding with you, it's a couple of miles, so it's not for the absolute youngest, but I would say, a confident elementary schooler could.
And what do you do? It must be a Saturday or Sunday, huh?
It's a Sunday morning.
Yeah. Is it causing any traffic issues or?
I don't think so. So I was working the Washington Park, start and stop. So I hear reports that it was very successful from all the riders and the rest of the foundation.
So wait a minute,
staff.
You weren't at the front with the jersey on, riding and leading the pack, man? Okay.
Mark, I was halfway in through the ride over at Ray Park, and it was just wonderful seeing these families ride up. And you would give them the stickers, and then we all raced back to the end so we could get on that bike and make those smoothies.
Yeah.
There were some great vendors that came, and that was just so fun, making those smoothies.
Yeah.
You get on the bike and you bike and you make your
own
own
a little
smoothie.
party at the end,
right?
When everyone shows back up.
Laura, Rich, did you guys get on the bike ride?
Well, I laid it out.
Good.
Yes. There are these day glow stickers that you have to stick on the street, and I sort of risked my life in a few places like Broadway.
Yeah.
But it's well marked out, and everybody has a little map. And so if you're into this, it's really easy to do, and it's for everybody. So I think there's someone up front it's not a race, by the way, but there's someone up front.
Right.
And then there's someone in the back kind of sweep up the kids and that kind of stuff and make sure they
Sounds
get what
like
they
fun.
want. Oh, it's great.
And it's in March?
In May.
In May. That's good. Good weather usually by then, right? That's fantastic. You guys don't do a dinner dance or anything like that, or luncheons or stuff like that, right?
No.
You stay away from that.
Mostly we sell alcohol and raffle tickets, and then the bocce ball tournaments and things like that. But the sponsors, we make a lot of money on sponsors for the bocce ball, and same with pickleball and things like that.
So I bet you probably sell a little bit of alcohol at the concerts.
At the Music in the Park, we make quite a bit on that. And the raffle. The raffle is quite successful at Music in the Park.
Is the ID thing a problem?
No.
Do you have some place where everybody checks in?
We have a tent
or something?
We have a tent that they go over to, and you could credit card, and we sell beer and wine. And then some of us go out in the crowd. So we have some volunteer high school, 2 young girls from the high school and another that help us with the raffle. And we go through the crowd, and, we pick local restaurants in town. So we'll do 4 gift certificates for local restaurants in Burlingame, on Burlingame Avenue or Broadway.
Okay.
And then raffle those off so that, people then will go into the community and use those. So those raffles are pretty successful.
I bet, yeah. Especially the ones where people are drinking at the concerts, right?
And we do card people. Yeah. We card just about everyone. We have the ABC license, which
good for
we have
guys.
to pay for that. So we're very, very on top of that.
Yeah.
That's one thing that's super important for us.
Let's talk about your budget meetings, okay? And let's see. Margaret must come to every one of your meetings, right? They're once a month? right? The meetings, okay. And Donna Colson, our mayor, who's terming out at the end of the year, but she just got reelected to city council. That's terrific. She's on the board as well, right? So when you guys get together for a budget meeting, is it like a once-a-year budget meeting and you say, hey, we got to raise X amount of dollars because we want to do this, this, and this, or is it just one project that you want to get accomplished? Am I making sense on that?
Yeah, we have our meetings in January, our goal meetings set in January. Our big thing is our scholarships. That's something that is, we always fund our scholarships, and that's important to us. Scholarships for the rec programs. So if we do after kids for the summer camps, we give scholarships for the summer camps, and then also when we were working with the Women's Coaching Alliance, we also helped pay for sports equipment, scholarships for sports equipment, so for kids to play the sports there. So that's kind of what started us, the foundation. So we stick with that. So we just increased our funding for the scholarships. I don't remember how much it is, but we're on a fairly lower budget, so we raise like 20 to 30, 40, it's 20, 30, 40, depending on the year. So it just depends on, and now we're searching for, like we said, we're looking for not better board members, but more board members that will help us with more fundraising so we could go to the bigger projects and things like that. But we did the community center, which was several $1 million. So
that's pretty amazing. Yeah. So you come in, but you do get together and you figure out one lump big sum that you want to raise, right? Do you come under? Do you not always hit the goal?
We usually hit our goals, especially we feel the scholarship, raising money for scholarships is so important. That's for families out there that really would love to use our programs and have their kids enjoy a lot of our programs, especially in the summer. And so we find that that's really important to all of us. So we basically, make sure that happens.
All right.
Yeah.
Rich, are you involved in any of this fundraising or things like that, budget control?
I think we all are, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So can I ask you this question? What kind of challenges do you face when you're trying to fundraise and get support for larger projects?
The hardest thing, by the way, I just as an aside here, I've heard the description of the foundation as being the best kept secret in Burlingame.
I think it is.
Yeah. And I don't think many people know about us. And that is the challenge, is to go out and find someone to not only support us with their presence, but also then in small ways. We'll take any donation, which you can get to, you can find through our website if you want to make those kind of things. But when we set a goal for, like the cupola, the $6,000, surprisingly enough, there are people who are willing to give fairly large amounts of money for that. And then we will make up the difference at the end, which is kind of how we got there. And it was really a small difference because I was surprised at how many people and businesses who were interested in that little project. But that was just one small project. There's some bigger things on the horizon, I think, at these parks. Parks and Recreation does a great job of putting together all sorts of things. We just went to a ribbon cutting up at Cuernavaca, and they've completely redone all the soccer fields there and one baseball field, including all the batting cages and all that. And that's in their budget, and that's a big deal. And it's all kind of an AstroTurf thing because they've had drainage issues.
Right, so they converted from grass to turf?
Grass to turf. Yeah. But one of the observations was there's no lighting up there, and that hasn't even come up on the horizon yet, and whether we're part of that or not, those are the kind of things that show up and become sometimes a target for us if we can help.
But you do, as your foundation does raise money for the park.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say, that it basically goes to fund the parks and the programs, some equipment, and also our insurance. And as I mentioned before, to get the ABC license, when we do serve some beverages.
We pay for a lot of this stuff directly. So like the Parks and Rec department has a wish list, and we look at the wish list and we'll say, we'll pick what items we feel we could fund. And then like last year, we all went out to the parks, or sometimes everybody will go out to the parks and take a look and see what they might want to have done in it. And so we've done that in the past as well. So, we don't. We take their suggestions, but we don't always go with what they want us.
Okay.
They do. We might say, well, no, we feel our money would be better spent this way.
Okay, so let's say you're over at Paloma Park and there's a broken slide. Its slide is whatever, okay? Do you guys take part in that as something that you would replace that slide or what? That would be...
The Parks Department is great.
Okay.
Our maintenance department at the parks is outstanding. We would be like the chalkboards at Paloma Park. We do the additional stuff. We don't do the repairs. We do the fun things like the cornhole, the ping pong tables on the concrete ping pong tables.
Some of the add-ons.
Parks. At the boot scrapers at Mills Park. We've done, we do things like that. So we do the fun additional things that the city doesn't have the money for.
All right.
Yeah. And act as a conduit for the larger donations for the community center and the town square.
All right.
And
Thank you.
for the record,
Yep.
we're also audited every year. If we are responsible for our budgets and where everything goes. And part of our mantra is that 100% of what we get goes to the parks. And that's true.
Yeah. Who's doing the audit? Like the city of Burlingame does the audit or what? An outside auditor?
I mean, we have a finance person and then we assign somebody to do the audit as well. So every 3 months we go over the books. So we have an outside accountant that does our taxes and things like that.
All right.
So we say 100%, I should say nearly 100% goes to everything because we do pay for our ABC licenses, our insurance, and our accountant. But other than that, none of us take any kind of money for it, and most of us donate, supplies and raffle tickets and things like that.
Okay. You shared a lot of projects and programs that you guys have got going on. I guess the next one would be booze at the tree lighting or something. Is that what that is? I shouldn't say
well,
that. But
I will say this. You know what, Mark? This is so much fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've stopped by our booth, but it is a jolly group, and we're not even drinking.
Yeah.
It is, just I think in 1 hour we must have raised $850
at the tree lighting?
Yes, and because a lot of the kids came by and got the hot cocoa, and we did have a little bit of peppermint schnapps.
How fun is that?
Yeah, and some of the adults quickly said, "Can you give me one of those?" And then they gave beautiful.
Well,
little
I'm going to let
donations.
you in a little secret this year. Okay, Santa is in this room right now. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. So
Wait, we
it's
might
gonna
have
be
two Santas in this room.
He's doing it for
Oh, that's
I'm
great.
going to be doing the library Thursday night and coming over and doing the Christmas tree lighting on Friday
Oh,
night.
great.
How I got hooked into that, I'm not sure. But anyway, okay.
Since you brought up the visits from Santa, which that is another thing that's coming up for us, and it's coming up 6 different evenings. Well, actually, 6 different evenings at the beginning of December. And what this is we have a Santa who rides around in a 66 Mustang convertible.
Oh, how
It's
cool.
a beauty.
How cool.
with some elves out front to take pictures and do crowd control.
Is this you, Rich?
No. Well, I do the car. But, I'm not the Santa. Anyway, so we go to each house, and for 15 minutes and $50, by the way, we'll stay there for photos, and the kids go crazy, and we'll also get their wish list, the letters to Santa, which we will answer if we can, if there's enough information.
Wow.
However, we won't guarantee anything, like if Johnny wants a Lamborghini or something like that.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, not going to happen.
Not this year, right?
No.
So wait a minute. Go back over that. You're driving the 66 Mustang?
Yeah, it's mine. Yeah.
66, that's the year, I'm going to disclose, okay, that's the year I graduated from high school, so that's a long time ago.
Good.
Okay, but that is really cool. So wait a minute, where do you drive it to? So
Each house.
what house? I mean, you sign up, the house signs up for this
Here's
in
what
advance?
happens. Yes, through the Parks and Recreation division, you can call in and make a reservation, and we'll set out a route and tell them when we're coming, or get their 15 minutes. And for those 6 fixed evenings, we will do that. And Yeah, it runs a little more than 15 sometimes, but that's how you get into that.
How fun is that?
It is really fun.
And what time? It's in the evening?
It's in the evening from 4 to 6:30.
Santa's not a little cold in the car with the top down or anything
We'll
like
put
that?
up with anything when it comes to Santa.
Yeah. All right.
It really is. The kids' faces just light up. It's just, I have them come to my house for my nieces and nephews, and
That
I mean,
is
it's
cool.
just an amazing, and it's
What are the
just so
dates?
great.
What are the dates?
Oh boy, it's a test.
Is it early December?
Yeah, I think the first week, and it's not the last week of December. There's a week there where they all take a break.
Because we'll have our grandkids up. But look at that picture! I wish we were on video so people could take a look at that. That is cute. Yeah, I'd love to do that for my grandsons. Yeah. Rich, I'm going to ask you this question here. Have you observed any changes in the community's use or appreciation of the parks and recreation spaces, facilities?
Yeah, I have. I think a good indication of that is our population. I think for a while there we were at 29,000, something like that, and it's now growing. And anyone who's been around the Rollins Road area and seen the development there knows that that's a lot of housing that's going in, and so it just can't help but get bigger and bigger as far as the population is concerned. Anyone who enjoys the traffic in Burlingame before certainly do not enjoy it now. And so there are more people, and there are more people at the Washington Park complex ever since it was completed. It's become a destination. Ray Park, some others as well. It's good, and this is good for us.
Would Washington Park be considered the most popular park in Burlingame?
It's our central park, like San Mateo's. It
Yeah.
is. It's one of the oldest, of course.
Yeah.
But it's also one of the newest and one of the most mature.
Right. What are some of the things up at Cuernavaca? I haven't been up at Cuernavaca in years. Is that the top of Truesdale? Yeah. What's up there? I just remember a long, big grassy field, but is there a baseball diamond up there or anything?
I think you've got it probably right. It used to be a big grassy field.
Yeah.
Right now there's basketball courts up there. There's a little playground area in the northern section. The lower field is the one that has all the soccer fields and a baseball field, including a batting cage. And it's all surrounded by kind of a eucalyptus grove that's been drastically pruned, but it's still there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a destination as well. Oh, and it is also a dog park. That lower section's a dog park.
Off leash? Is that what? Yeah, off leash. That's pretty cool. Burlingame, Washington Park, you can't do that, can you? You can? Saturday mornings? Is that what I'm seeing? Or is it
No, it's in the baseball. You could do it during the morning and back corner every day till 7:30, but then it's also in the baseball field, the big field, whenever there's not any organized sports going on.
off leash?
Off leash.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and also up in Skyline.
21 parks. That's a lot to, take care of. And
I guess that's, including our facilities. 21 is including parks and facilities, right? Yeah.
a lot going on.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are over there playing pickleball every day, so that definitely
And they
draws.
just did those courts, right, to
Yes,
accommodate an extra
yes.
pickleball court in Court 1, I think, right? Did they make 2 pickleball courts, or is there 4?
They made 4 pickleball courts,
Yeah.
but that money was also donated through the foundation for the pickleball
Yeah,
courts.
you guys are a secret. You really are.
Well, some wise man said we're the best kept secret.
Yeah. I hadn't heard of the foundation, and 3 weeks ago, Laura sent me a text saying, "Would you like to do?" I go, "What? Who's this?" Anyway, it's fun. Okay, when do you guys meet? How often do you meet? And where do you meet? Who's gonna
Okay,
take
so
that?
I'll take that one.
Okay.
We meet once a month, and it's the 4th Monday of every month. We have the option to go on Zoom or in person, and that's a nice thing, especially if you're traveling and you're even out of the area. You can try to make the meeting, and we usually have a quorum. So when we have things that come up, we really like to discuss them, vote on them, and
you meet where?
well, we meet over in the community center.
If you're not on Zoom, you would come to the community center.
Yeah.
Upstairs, downstairs, where?
Downstairs.
Just
the
downstairs.
Sequoia room.
Magnolia room.
Yeah,
Or
Magnolia room.
Sometimes we get moved around.
Yeah. And meetings are open to the public. Mm-hmm. And they run about probably an hour and a half, 2 hours, I guess, sometimes.
I would say
Depends.
about an hour. We try to
Yeah.
keep it to an hour.
That's good.
Around, 6 o'clock, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to give a plug for anything right now before we close this up? I know we mentioned Christmas tree lighting. Is there anything else that's in the near future?
Well, before I do that, I just want to say, if you are interested in meeting us, I mean, we are such a fun bunch. We do a lot of great things. We have a lot of fun, and we get a lot done, which is wonderful. And it's not something that you have to be there for every event. As I mentioned before, we really try to mix it up. So we all have other things in life, work and other activities.
Yeah.
I do want to say you could go to supportburlingameparks.org and learn more about us. Of course, you know some of our names here. You could easily reach out to us. We'd always love to have you just come to some of our events and see how it is. See if it works into your life, into your lives. So
Great. What was that website again? Or what was that again?
It is supportburlingameparks.org.
Okay. And is that your website, or is that... that's okay. Fantastic.
Burlingame Parks Forever
Okay, guys.
Foundation.
We miss anything? Anybody want to chime in with one last comment or anything? I want to make sure we do this properly.
If you want to go on our website and give us your email addresses, we'll send you our
Yay,
newsletter.
I'll get all the information
we'll
I
get you
need
that
now,
for
right?
you. Yeah, so we'll send you our newsletters that will be coming out every quarter, I believe.
I think I'll do that. All right.
Thank you, Mark. We all appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for having us.
I'd like to thank Laura Hesselgren, Kay Coskey, Rich Kirchner, and Doug Bojack for being my guest today on Burlingame. It's a small town podcast sponsored by the Burlingame Historical Society. Special thanks to Laura and Kay for sharing a microphone and passing it back and forth. Not always easy to do. Thanks to Mike Nagler for ideas and creativity, the great Ray Tyler for video, original music by Bray. You can hear more of Bray at braymusic.com. This podcast was recorded on November 7th, 2024 at the Burlingame Public Library. And finally, if you like what we have been doing, please give us a like, offer a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. So until next time, everyone, see you around Burlingame. It's a small town.